Today I'm going to discuss a common question that I get from a number of people. It was suggested by one of our viewers, so really appreciate that. And this is the subject of tax havens, or at least low tax jurisdictions with short stay requirements. I'm going to give you 7 places that are, quite frankly, low tax, where you don't have a high minimum stay requirement. So you can get a residency permit there, you can maintain it without visiting for too long, etc. And so we're going to dive into that right now. Before we do, if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, nail the notification bell. Really appreciate you supporting our channel. It's great. Try to produce great content for you every single day. So go and check out some of the other videos. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And if you're interested in the subjects of international tax planning, international structuring, relocating for yourself personally or your business, please reach out to us. You can book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below. Or check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com, and send us a message through there. Okay, so one of the problems with a lot of different places that you could relocate to is you need to be there for, say, 183 days, right? As Americans, if they're going to go to Puerto Rico, typically, in most cases, there's a few exceptions, but you need to be there for 183 days. The same is true if you want to go to many, many different places. They require that. So today we're going to cover these 7 places, and this is in no particular order, but we're going to start with Cyprus, okay? So Cyprus has the best tax system in Europe, basically. And you can, depending on the way that you want to look at it, you can be there 60 days or more, which is not a lot, or to maintain a residency permit, you can be there literally just 1 day every 2 years. So quite good. The next is Bulgaria. It's easy to get residency in Bulgaria, or relatively easy. And there's basically no minimum stay requirement there to maintain your residency permit, which is also excellent. It's not zero tax, but 10% or less, pretty good, right? Moving farther down, we have Georgia. You can get a residency permit in Georgia and maintain that super easily. So again, traditionally pretty easy to get the residency permit and to maintain it. Georgia, again, not zero tax, but territorial tax, some very optimized tax in a bunch of regards, doesn't have CFC rules, a bunch of these things. So very, very good from a tax planning standpoint. Also not really on any of the tax haven lists, so that's also quite useful. Next, it's the top 3. We have, going over to Asia, we have Thailand. So you can get a long-term visa in Thailand with no minimum stay requirements. So again, ability to kind of base yourself there, have a residency permit there, etc. Great ability for tax planning. Again, not on the surface a low tax country, but how you can plan around it means that in many, many people's situation, they can probably end up with zero tax being based there. This brings us to number 5. Number 5 is Malaysia. Unfortunately, Malaysia, my second home, very famous program, is currently closed. There is another variation of it that I'm going to do a video on at some point in the near future. And they've announced that they're supposed to be putting out a couple new programs. We'll see what happens with that. But I've also done a video you can go check out on the subject of the Level 1 Director's Visa, which is another way to get in. And there's a few others as well if you were to go down that, although it's been difficult in the last year, kind of ever since early 2020 when everything started to close down. So that being said, ability to spend minimal amounts of time, maintain a residency permit there, and get potentially really, really good tax treatment. So we like that. This brings us to number 6, which is the other side of the world, a very popular place that people would go and get residency in, and this is Panama. Panama just announced they're doing some changes to their Friendly Nations visa program, so it won't be as easy as it used to be. However, that being said, still not bad. Again, not zero tax, but often very easy to plan around being zero tax or very low tax for people who go there. So that's also useful. And again, very minimal stay requirement. You can spend virtually no time there to maintain that residency permit. So very cool. And this brings us to our final one, which is UAE. UAE, you basically need to visit once, literally for in theory, it could just be a couple hours every 6 months, or actually technically every 180 days in order to maintain a residency permit there. And once again, this is pure zero tax. So those are 7 places, I would say, kind of maybe 7 most popular places that you can get away with maintaining a residency in with virtually no or very little stay requirement, that also have extremely low taxes. Now, I've talked in some other videos about, tax residency and how that works, and, do you need a certificate? And that's kind of another question. But certainly these are, I think, great places to base yourself if you're not wanting to spend much time anywhere, but you do need to have a residency permit somewhere and take advantage of that. So I hope that helps. If there's some others that you're thinking of, this was not an exhaustive list. There are some others on top of that, but I figured I'd give you these top kind of most 7 popular ones that I see. And yeah, please reach out to us if you have any questions, or put things in the comments below. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.